Hello and welcome everyone, this is Blackadder at the RTS League channel, and I welcome you to today's stream that is gonna be the last one for season 41 of our Age of Empires 2 the Conquerors clan league, and it's gonna be the bronze banner battle between the Run Forest Run and clan Gaucho B. It's gonna be a best of 5 as is usual in the later rounds of playoffs, well basically all the rounds besides the first one. And the maps are gonna be 2 presets. The very first one, it's gonna be Connected Islands, and potentially if it's not gonna be a sweep, which is quite probable that it's not gonna be, because of course we are in the later stages, and that would be map number 4 on Terra... Oh, right now I completely forgot how it's named. Let me quickly check. Terra Frost, something with Frost. Terra Ice Age. Okay. Terra Ice Age. And it's quite a fun map that we haven't seen in the finals, but I'm definitely hopeful that we're gonna be seeing in this match. Okay, so the game is about to start. Let's switch in. There we go. And here we are starting with the first match and with the first game of the Bronze Banner Battle that is gonna be played on Connected Islands, and that's basically a whole lot of different islands. You can see that we are. First difference is that basically the islands can be right next to basically the wall of the map, and basically dividing it hardly basically like on migration. So potentially it could be harder to maneuver around the islands, exactly like here. Yeah, that's gonna be coming into play. But the second most important part is that between basically each islands there is a bit of shallows that is basically connecting them. And if you don't want to fight for the water, I kinda imagine that you don't really have to. You can make some kind of fun attacks on the land, even through transport, or maybe just through the shallows, if your opponents are gonna be underestimating the walling. But yeah, well, let's see if somebody is gonna be really using that or not. Looking at the civilizations, it seems... actually a bit of a difference. RFRs are actually coming for Vikings, Huns and Mongols, whereas Gauchos are coming with Vikings, Japanese and Huns. That's definitely looking a whole lot more like some kind of water map in combination for the Gauchos. So curious how the gameplay is gonna be, especially from RFR, because incorporating the Mongols in there, that is an interesting idea. Because of course Japanese are just naturally good at water, with the bonus for the water economy. But yeah, well, let's see. It's still probably gonna be a full-on water battle, and then if it's gonna be coming south for either clan, they're gonna be trying to switch into a land battle. We could have seen quite a heavy battle in the grand finals last week. That was quite a big one, or last week was basically this Sunday, right? And that was very long battle, basically hour plus, and it ran all the way until basically all the woods were gone. So that's how equal it was between Gaucho A and the opponents from New Chapter, and it really was a pretty good game. And that is gonna be a steal of the boar. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, so that's exactly one thing that you can do on the Connected Islands because of the shallows. It's not gonna be walled up in time, and that is gonna be boar stealing, and oh man, that's fun. Okay, so the start of Pingu is right off the bat gonna be pretty difficult, as he's gonna be having one ball less, but of course right now Dark Levi still needs to be careful, because it's almost looking like that if he makes a few more mistakes, he's gonna be basically killed by the ball. He's basically right now stolen it already, there's not much of a question about that, but well, he kinda doesn't want to lose it all that much, and he definitely has to be quite careful with how he's gonna be maneuvering now, but he seems to be reasonably safe at this stage. And on the other side, it's gonna be, for example, Bullet trying to steal, or maybe even Canal helping him out, with the scout already being there and looking what's going to happen on that part of the island. In the meantime, potentially Exor also looking for a boar. Well, that is one that is gonna be taken by Bullet exactly on time, so not any kind of luck for Gauchos, and they definitely will be falling back, because of course the stolen boar, that is a huge problem, and you can see right now the reaction by Pingui, who is already coming in there, trying to block it off. But at the same time, this kind of walling, even though it's definitely cheaper, because you just don't need to build as a long wall as here, is definitely dangerous, because it seems that he will be given a bit of opportunity to basically land himself. Like, the opponent can be dropping, I don't know, barracks in there, even just basically in the castle age, for example, siege workshop, and easily get through. So definitely dangerous, and that is gonna be one of the interesting things as well, because some wallings are gonna be easy, some not. Like for example here, the walling is definitely not gonna be easy, as he has to produce a wall all the way across the shore. The shallows are kind of funny, and not even any kind of shorter version like here potentially is gonna be available to Dark Levi's. Otherwise, of course, Where's the walling gonna be needed? Here on the right, it almost is underway for Exoro as well. You can see he's gonna be having very long walling as well to do, whereas his opponent may be basically taking the short route as Pingu did it at the very top and basically use the part of the forest here as well. And then he could be basically really doing the same as Pingu, but I would be much liking if he basically made the longer wall so that he doesn't allow any kind of buildings to be produced there by the enemies. Well, Talgaby, castle, I kind of think that it might. I think that it actually might fit here. I could see it. Yeah, I kind of think that it might. It just might actually fit. It might also be one square short, as you are saying, but I'm thinking it might fit. And if he needs to, he can basically just try to work on exactly this one tree. And once he gets rid of it, that definitely is going to be plenty of place for the castle, and that is definitely a pretty good catch, because building a castle right there is gonna be quite close by to the base, and definitely quite hard moments will be coming for Pingui if Dark Device will be having such an idea. Otherwise, there are gonna be a few islands in the middle which are not connected. That's gonna be a lot of wood on this one, on the left side of the middle, with a bit of stone and gold on it. As on the right, of course, there is more gold, more wood, and there is a third one even that is quite close by to Bullet, with another patch of stone and gold, and also quite decent amount of wood. So potentially you could be seeing some castles being built in some kind of good placements, because they are at actually quite opportune places, especially this one that I'm looking at. Like having a castle about here for either side would be quite useful and powerful for basically controlling the water, and it seems kind of the same for the top one, but you can see that it's gonna be very hard to place any kind of castle. You will have to gather from all of those trees first, and only then it could be working. So yeah, it's not really all that susceptible to anything like that. Potentially towers, they could still be useful, even though they are not as huge, but still could be useful. And we are heading into a few ages, and we're gonna be seeing pretty soon what the game plan is gonna be for both clans. So plenty of dogs, of course, coming up for the Japanese in there, who is not in the pocket, so a bit of a, well, let's say luck for RFRs, because of course Japanese in the pocket is always quite nice advantage. And wow, okay, now that's a weird walling right now by Bullet. So he's not using basically the opportunity to make a very short wall, like 3 squares there, 3 squares there, maybe 4, but he makes a long wall, but makes it in very weird placement. Instead of basically just plugging the hole right next to shallows, he's making it in the middle of his island almost. So, like, what's the thought process behind that? Because he's basically opening the opportunity exactly to drop some buildings here. Yes, getting rid of stragglers is easy. You just fall it down and build over it, so that's not really any kind of problem. So castle can definitely be built here very easily, and that is definitely a problem for Bullet if Exoro is gonna be realizing that. And overall, as far as the level of the players goes, that's something I haven't talked about yet. It's basically all about 18 to 1850, something like that. Pretty decent players, all of them, and it should be fairly equal fight that we're having in the Bronze Banner Battle here. Battle here. The fun stuff, of course, is that RFRs have been beaten by Gaucho A in the semifinals. Right now, of course, they want to take revenge on the Beast. And of course, RFRs are also the only clan in this season that has been able to take a game from Gaucho A, the finalists, and of course, the gold banner holders from the grand finals of season 41. So that is something basically speaking to them and to their quality overall, no matter the rating that they might be having. Alright, so quite interesting walling in there, basically between him and his ally. So, yeah, he's not really all that happy about how his teammate is doing or something like that. Not entirely certain, but he just wants to make safe, rather wants to be safe and protected from any kind of landing, I'm expecting. But in the meantime, of course, Poncho having plenty of boats, helping Pingui quite well against Dark Device, and we're gonna be, of course, waiting for the Grey player, who is so far not really advancing, it seems, into the castle age, but I would be expecting that he really might want to do so, because he's in the pocket, and so far I don't really see any boats from him. The only boats in quite huge numbers so far are from Gauchos, and they really seem to be pushing for the water quite a bit. You can see right now that Exoro is getting rid of Dark Devices, or other Bullets economy. Of course, it's Bullet at the bottom, and at the same time Bullet is trying to do pretty much the same. Yeah, doesn't want to, or rather isn't really all that bothered by all the boats from the enemy. And That's something that, of course, right now, his pocket player Kanala is not gonna be thanking him for all that much. Yep, that is something that flanks need to be taking care of, basically protecting the pockets and not allowing exactly this to happen. Yeah, finally Kanala also having a few boats, so I just didn't see him in there on the minimap with his interesting color, but he actually is coming into the castle age and already having quite a decent army. It's not really half bad. He should be able to deal with Exoro quite fine, as on right you'll be expecting that maybe Bullet could be a bit more active, trying to basically get rid of all the reinforcements. But yeah, well, so far we don't really see all that much of an attempt at that. In the meantime, at the top, it seems like Dark Levi's against 2 players at once. So how's that gonna be working, not entirely certain, but finally Kanala is gonna be joining him, and that will be probably the moment where Gauchos need to retreat, and oh well, they cannot split right now. That's fairly dangerous for them to do, because they don't really have the numbers, especially Pingui. And if they're not staying at the same spot, then they are definitely susceptible to fall into some kind of 2 versus 1s, and that definitely seems to be exactly right now happening. Poncho, in the other clan's pocket, in Gauchos, is also advancing into the castle age. Gonna be a bit later. The villager count 31 for the Mongol, and basically the same for Poncho. You can see a bit of an advantage coming for Dark Levi's and his teammates, especially of course Kanala, who is the pocket player. But there may be a bit of a problem coming for our Bullet, because of course right now you can see that Exoro is coming back with a few boats. There's just a few for Kanala, and some reinforcements coming from the right side are definitely gonna be a problem for his little army in there. He's gonna be losing that, but he also at the same time might be having a chance of making something happen in the pocket against Poncho. As you can see, Poncho is basically disengaging from the main battle, and this is the point where Kanala with Dark Levi's are gonna be pushing on Pingui and trying to make his life difficult, as the castle villages are still being researched and Bullet is clicking as the next in line. So he's gonna be having also some kind of chance against his opponents very soon. In the meantime, Exoro is gonna be really punishing the economy of Kanala in the pocket. But I don't really expect it's gonna be any kind of huge problem, because he's already in the castle and going for his war galleys, so we should be expecting plenty more boats being made from him. Let's switch into his point of view. And then owning the waters, at least. Yeah, galleys already being made with the war galley upgrade as well, at least until the castle age from Poncho is coming there as well. For a moment was there thinking, is it called Heroic Age or something else? As I'm casting a lot of Age of Mythology, I was casting just yesterday. So I may be, yet again, making some kind of mistakes in there, in the ages, switching Mythical Age for Imperial Age and whatever. Definitely could be happening. In the meantime, of course, though, the battle on the left top seems to be switching yet again, as even though Kanala is having finally the war galleys, he doesn't have a place to escape. So this is definitely the big danger of the connected islands, because they are quite closer in this regard to migration. So there definitely will be traps, and this is exactly the trap that right now Kanala is falling into, and he's gonna be losing all the boats in there. So not gonna be saving anything at all, and he will need all the replacements from the home docks to be sent into the battle in the middle. Yep, already sent a few of them in there, and we're gonna be of course waiting also for a bit of violent battles, because Dark Levi's has chosen to basically attack his opponent on the land as well, because he is using a transport boat, you can see in there, and sending all the units from his base across the shoreline, rather across the waters on the other shoreline, and trying to slow his opponent down. But he has already been able to finish with the TC, and he's gonna be finishing with the TC next to the gold mines as well. So yeah, it seems quite fine at this point for Pingui, and shouldn't be that much of a problem for him, even though it's of course still quite annoying, and he already lost at least a few villages. So Pingui is at 35, which is not exactly a huge number. You can see 35, 33, 36. The opponent's already 35, but double 42. So the economies are going quite well for RFRs, as the water battles, though, so far seem to be coming a bit more for Gauchos. Well, they are definitely good water map players, as their home map is very favorite Team Islands, or rather are very favorite Team Islands, and we definitely would be expecting that that will be the map, and that might be chosen as their home map in the next games, because game 2 and game 3 in this best of 5 are gonna be home maps for each clan. Okay, so plenty of boats, of course, from Bullet, who is already having the war guys in there, but he needs to be so careful, because the amount of boats from the opponents is a whole lot bigger, especially with Exoro, or the Exoro right now being in the Heroic Age, no, Castle Age, damn it, not Age of Mythology, and getting the war galleys in there, as Castle Age is also coming for Dark Levi's, but he probably is gonna be a whole lot more interested in basically putting the Viking out of the water, which is definitely a great idea, because if he can completely cripple the Viking, the water is gonna be getting a whole lot easier for his teammates, and even kind of partway for himself, even though he's not really interested in the water battle all that much. And once that happens, then yeah, there definitely will be quite good options for him how to control the game and help his teammates overall. Okay, so that's gonna be stable finished. We're gonna be switching into a few horses, I'm expecting. Maybe cavalry archers, not entirely certain what's gonna be the plan. But Siege Workshop is already prepared from Pingui, and he will be having some kind of idea how to stop what this enemy is doing. Okay, of course, plenty of boats right now in there from Canala to basically help protect the quite important shoreline. And basically getting rid of Pingui, who has also run himself into a bit of a trap. Yep, he's definitely gonna be losing all of that. And as long as they can keep this alive and basically open, then the Archivist can do whatever he wants on the enemy island and basically slow him down as much as possible. As of course going for the monastery is not a bad idea, as it will produce at least a few monks against the potential horses that might be coming up from the enemy. Okay, the battle in the middle seems to be still not really going all that well for RFRs. You can see Exodo together with Poncho are having such a huge advantage on the water, so many boats for themselves, and they really are doing quite a good job, as the Archivist is confirming the production of all the horses. And of course, right now with the Siege Workshop being finished, he's gonna be given also a few opportunities, and the village is dead. Few opportunities how to deal with the monks, with of course the Onager or the Mangonel. Right here, let's switch into the Archivist, because it's gonna be probably a whole lot more important to watch him and what he's doing. You can see a few knights, Mangonels being researched and rather made as, yep, that's gonna be goodbye one of those knights. And otherwise, of course, the monk is gonna be dying, but still it was well worth it, because one of those knights is already switching sides. And the Mangonel is of course gonna be quite closer to being killed as well. I'm kinda curious why those archers are not actually coming to basically get rid of the monks. I'm really thinking that would be quite a good use of them. But yeah, well, so far they're not interested in that, as the Mangonels are just gonna be waiting in. And the water battle seems to be still not really moving anywhere all that much. Just still producing as many boats as possible, trying to control the situation, and in the meantime, not any kind of attempt to push through the land for him. And definitely, you can see that he has already actually broken through the palisade walls in there for Bullet. Even though he went for basically double palisade wall, he's already breached. So teal player can basically do whatever he wants. If he wants to switch into a few knights and get to raid, then he definitely can. So right now the water battle is going on. It's underway with Bullet and Canala having a bit of fun with Exoro and Poncho, and it seems that actually RFR should be having slight advantage. But I'm looking for basically the great boats, and I don't exactly see them all that much, because they were probably engaging Poncho on the left side, and it doesn't seem like that he would be surviving all that much. So there's a bit of raiding on the economy, of course, by Pingui on the left. But yeah, much more importantly on the land, he is a whole lot more of a problem for Pingui than maybe even Pingui thought. University coming up, but he's having plenty of monks already, about 4 of them, so with proper micro he could be quite annoying. And he's actually destroying houses, which is not exactly at this point needed. 103 out of 125. Though it's an interesting idea, trying to house the opponent, of course, as those Mangonels are just going for those dudes. Yeah, they definitely are, and they could be even pretty annoying on the gold miners in there, and even the woodies. So this is potentially quite a big danger. It's gonna be all about the proper micro right now, getting rid of this little Mangonel. You can see so many of them being right now made by the Archivist. Already 5, and he's even making a 6th, so definitely not looking like he would be wanting to lose them all that much. Okay, that was unfortunate. It was because of the TC. And that one, though, the split of the Mangonels, that was definitely a nice idea, because he was running a huge risk of that one Mangonel killing a whole lot more than would be towards this Lycan. Okay, oh, he kind of missed it. So that's gonna be 2 for 1. Very nice right now for Pingui. That's definitely worthwhile, as he's killing also a few monks, but it's still costing him the Mangonels because of the TC fire. And he needs to be careful, because he already produced about 6 of them, and he lost all right now. He lost all of them to about 3 Mangonels of the enemy and TC. And that's not great. That's a huge amount of resources. He doesn't really have any kind of shortage of that. You can see he's still producing on them. But yeah, well, let's see how it's gonna be working for him, because right now the monks will probably be having a heyday, as they'll be attempting to convert, of course, the knights, and they definitely... Oh, that was a nice hit right there. Can he convert him back? Apparently not. and right now 3 knights, and this is absolutely falling apart right now for the Akrivice, and Pingu is definitely playing this very nicely, and it seems that he should be able to defend in the long run. Well, in the battle on the water, it seems that nothing is really going on all that much. Just continue trading for Poncho as... Well, he is also together with Exoro moving on the left side, and RFRs are definitely in pretty horrible situation right now. Pretty horrible, kind of hard situation, that's more like what I wanted to say. And in the middle, even though Canala seems to be kind of comfortable, Imperial Ages are coming for Exoro and Poncho, and not really for the opponents, for RFRs. So I'm really thinking that the water is gonna be getting quite close to actually be decided for Gauchos at this point. And basically the only chance that could be coming for RFRs would be through the land attack, but it seems to be basically right now gone. So it was very well played defense by Pingui. He was able to basically out-micro and outplay the Akrivice in there, who is even switching into coinage. So it seems that he might be even switching into full-on slinging, or maybe there's gonna be a trade going on. Well, we'll see, because it definitely can happen. Through the shallows, you can start here and go all the way across the shallows to the other side of the map. It can work, it's a bit tricky, and if you don't control water, it's not gonna be working all that much, but still, it is an opportunity, and something quite important that you shouldn't be underestimating. But the amount of boats, of course, for Gauchos is quite huge. You can see Galeonsa coming up for Exoro, Canala, and Pingui, also advancing into Imperial Ages, so you can see that basically the damage to Pingui wasn't anything worthwhile, really, as he's advancing just a few minutes after his allies, who actually weren't under threat. On land at all. So this is nicely played by them, and Gauchos seem to be having the game pretty much in their power. And if they can continue as they're continuing, then, well, RFRs will have to think up some kind of real surprise. Real surprise if they actually want to win, because so far, you can see TC has been killed. There was a TC in the position for Bullet, and he's still wide open. So this is basically just waiting for the opportunity for Exoro to produce some kind of army. You can already see that he's having Siege Workshop and get into enemy base without any kind of problems and just completely raise it to the ground. Of course, army just catching up with Bullet's army. And he doesn't have all that many options where to actually run, because this is a trap. This is a trap as well. So he just basically ran into his death at this point, which is something that we have seen quite often actually on this map here on today. Rather today and also on Sunday in the finals, and that's basically something that is really unusual for the islands. So players are playing late quite similarly to normal islands, but they are really forgetting that they don't necessarily have the opportunity to get behind them and cannot really run all that easily. So they just basically forced into traps, and you can see that Bullet is gonna be losing absolutely everything in there, absolutely everything at this point. So he might be killing at least a few, and I don't know, a few villages here and there, maybe a few boats, but that's pretty bad for him. But at the same time, it has to be said that he's also kinda buying time for his teammates, because this is basically like half of the army, or maybe majority of the army of the opponents, and that's of course giving all the opportunity right now to Canala, who has advanced into the Imperial Age, getting Bracer and Chemistry and Galeon, to basically start controlling the middle and be as important as he should be, and basically help his teammates quite significantly in there. In the meantime, though, the Akrivice is in pretty deep trouble, because of course he's gonna be under attack, as Pingu is just gonna be following up with a counter attack. Even though as a Viking, it's not gonna be that crucial and that important, because he should be still fighting for the water quite a bit, but it really is seeming like quite a danger for him. And yeah, the slinging that is already going on is probably gonna be quite a bit of danger for Run Forest Run. Right, so of course right now Bullet has been completely slaughtered in there and is resting at the bottom of the sea. And on the right side we are already looking at exactly Canala right now, trying to basically revenge his ally, revenge his friend, and let's see if it's gonna be working, as Pingu is even coming for a castle and he's gonna be dropping it. He's gonna be dropping it right next to the wall in there, exactly behind the shallows. This is exactly the danger if you're not gonna be protecting the shallows, or rather the placement right behind the shallows. And the castle in here from the Viking is gonna be difficult for, of course, the Akrivice to deal with, even though he's Viking himself, because the economy is gonna be under fire, especially this gold mine, and this is gonna be opening opportunity to basically stop the sling in earnest. And the times are gonna be getting very difficult and very hard for Run Forest Run. In the meantime, Pingui is following forward, trying to basically destroy Canala's army, as he's trying to help his teammate at least a bit. And apparently Poncho is gonna be as a Han, landing in there, and with villages only, or no, it's probably gonna be already plenty of horses. You can see all the stables being ready, and he is just looking for the place to land, and it's already gonna be cavaliers with chemistry also coming forward for him. And yep, that is way open, and he's gonna be absolutely wrecking the echo right about now of Dark Device. And since there's no walling in the middle so far, just the castles from Canala, that's definitely a nice idea to protect the docks and overall his claim on the water. But with all those horses being in there, yeah, that's gonna be a huge issue for Forestran. I'm not entirely certain what's right now gonna happen, as even the monks, some siegeverse are coming forward, but so far Bullet on the right seems to be having the situation under control with the castle and his own army finally yet again to help his teammate Canala in there with the battles. Well, Canala shouldn't probably be taking this battle, it seems a bit fishy for him. Well, let's go back to Red's base, who is right now getting absolutely hammered. He has been able to at least finish the TC, which was a bit of a luck, because otherwise the gold will be completely gone for him. But he's already losing the economy, and I know the castle is gonna be built by Pinguin right inside his base. And considering that his economy is 52, and 42 of them are idle, yeah, he's right now completely out of the game. And even though his allies at 121 and 116 are playing well, are having good economy, this is really huge problem for them, especially with Poncho already coming for the Paladins. Enemy economy 75, 111, 108. Yeah, kind of enough, exactly what it should be at this point for the water battle, especially for the Viking and for the Hunt player. But yeah, we'll be really expecting that this is something that the Dark Device won't exactly be able to come back from. He's already running with the villages, and maybe still RFRs actually see an opportunity how to make this happen. Yes, right now Canal is still fighting for the water quite well together with Bullet. And it seems that they actually really might be having some reasonable chance, because right now Gauchos are kinda divided. They have a little army on the right side by Exoro. That is gonna be probably 2 versus 1, which, right? Yeah, pretty much. So it's gonna be complete another destruction, whereas Green is not having anything all that much, just basically sending everything to the left, which is not that much. He's right now fully into basic land mode, but it's gonna be kinda hard to get through to Canala, as Canala was already prepared with all of those castles. He is in the Imperial Age, and he was able to produce plenty of elite Mangurais already, almost fully upgraded, and that is one of the better units how to deal. And ways how to deal, of course, with the Paladins, as those poor villagers just gonna be getting absolutely slaughtered in that. So yeah, that's right now important for Green to basically kill all the villagers, as the base of Dark Device has been completely conquered. Oh, this brave guy, this Rambo, just collecting the stone in there as if nothing was happening at all. But he was able to retreat with at least some villages, and he potentially can start rebuilding, because he still does have about 19 villages, and if he's getting to it, it could be working, but at the same time he doesn't have all that much of a space. There is a lot of space at the bottom actually, but the resources yet again are gonna be running out, especially the wood, and that might be really an issue, as apparently Bullet is thinking about attacking his opponent. You can see the Tarkans, not a bad idea, basically just to go quickly into the enemy base. They can just level those palisades without any kind of problem whatsoever, and be quite dangerous, because you can see that actually Teal is not prepared for this at all. He's having just monastery with a rally, but that's about it, and one castle for the Japanese. So those Tarkans, if they're gonna be coming forward, they will be quite dangerous and will be able to get rid of the economy in basically no time. So this is not a bad idea, and definitely not any kind of reason why RFR should be basically giving up, even though the Dark Device lost his base. It's definitely not the reason for that. And yep, Dark Device finally gonna be rebuilding his economy, and there is still plenty of reasons why and how to fight for all of this, as apparently Canala will be aiming to retake the island of Dark Device, not only because it's just the honorable thing to do to help the teammate and otherwise beat the opponents, but much more importantly because there are plenty of resources, not only the stone and the gold, but so much wood. So much wood here still available, and it might be really quite important for the later game. You can see that even right now Yellow is exactly recognizing that, trying to get as much as possible in there, as the Knight, or rather Paladin, is apparently on fire. Not anymore, or rather he's even worse right now, on fire. But yeah, well, of course the Mangurais will be controlling the situation with town center from the Mongol coming up, and all the farms still being present. So I'm kind of thinking that we will be seeing the return of Dark Device to his homeland pretty soon. In the meantime, of course, Canala on the water doing a pretty good job on the left side, controlling both Pingui and pretty much Poncho as well. As in the meantime, Pingui was also sending part of the army to help his teammate Exoro on the right, and that is a bit difficult right now to get with, or rather to get away with, for the opponents, as already quite nice interesting right now switch of the units of the paladins from the left flank to the right from the pocket, as well as those paladins will be a bit of a problem for the Han. But is it really anything all that major? Because the army is there, even though it's Tarkans, so the paladins should be kinda wrecking them. There is still plenty of fire from the castles and of course from the town centers as well. So I'm thinking that Bullet is kinda prepared for that. But yeah, well, unfortunately, the landing wasn't really landing all that much. The attempt at basically making some beachhead and forward base in the enemy island for Exoro didn't really work out all that much, as the assistants came there just in time, and that means that, of course, he's gonna be probably switching into Bullet's defense yet again. But those paladins are definitely a problem that will be needing to be handled somehow, as the Mongol is right now occupying the island of the Archivites yet again. So he's gonna be probably allowing him to come back. Exactly, he's already coming in there, and once he can get the TC going yet again, then he's gonna be in pretty good placement and pretty good protection, it seems like, from Kanala to yet again get back up and be a important player in the game yet again. As Town Center is coming right next to the gold mine, and much more importantly than the gold, rather next to the wood line. No, his beached boat in there definitely needs to be destroyed by the Mangurais, because it's pretty annoying on the TC and the villages in there, as there is still water battle going on in the middle between Kanala and this is Exorot, who's gonna be joined by Pingui. And since Kanala is still producing plenty of boats, this should be really coming for him in the long run, but the reinforcements are quite strong, and he will have to be careful to potentially even ask for assistance from Bullet. Yeah, definitely should be happening, and it already is. As in the meantime, though, green is still trickling into purple's base in pretty huge numbers with the paladins in there, and they are quite dangerous because they are killing all that Bullet is producing, and he's not really ready all that much yet. Right now he finally does have the halberdiers, but he's missing some upgrades in there, and that means that those fully upgraded paladins are still gonna be quite dangerous. Economy 96 for Bullet. He has already lost about 20 villagers into this raiding by all the paladins in the basic last 2 minutes or whatever it was. And much more importantly, basically half his economy is idle, 43. And kind of similar is going on for Kanala. 113 economy, but 40 villages idle. And that's really pretty dangerous for him. So where are the idols? Okay, that's gonna be basically just those guys in here, finishing with the wood line, and otherwise it seems that it's not gonna be anything all that major, as trade cards are gonna be also coming up. Yep, that's gonna be trade starting. That's definitely something that can happen on a map like Connected Islands, and already quite nice push on the left into Pingui, but they should be probably a whole lot more concentrated on the right side, because so far Bullet is not doing all that well. You can see all those trebuchets already coming forward, also getting rid of the castles, and Bullet is just getting his arse kicked at this point. Quite significantly so. He's just not able to handle this at all, because the combination of the paladins with the samurais is just completely deadly, and the samurais are shredding all of those halberdiers, and with the help of the paladins just basically being an effective unit overall, it doesn't seem all that promising, and some mangurais definitely need to be coming here as soon as possible, but apparently not, and it's gonna be a GG being called, as that's, I'm thinking, maybe a bit of a shame, but I probably thought that since they have seemed to be kind of losing the water, yeah, it kind of seems to be basically right now at the theme, kind of not being able to basically fight on the land and water at the same time. Yeah, it seems that this is gonna be just a bit too much, and they won't be able to handle Bullet's base all that much. So Gauchos are gonna be taking the first game, and well, they're gonna be leading in the bronze medal battle 1-0, as we're gonna be heading into home map of Run Forest Run, which is apparently, if you have seen the chat in there, gonna be Black Forest. Okay, let's check the achievements. Let us check the achievements here. That is quite probably gonna be nothing all that surprising. Just Kanal having very good score, but he was also kinda slung in there by the Archivites lately, or rather later. So that definitely makes good sense. He will be having such a high score, but overall really well played by Gauchos. And I like the early attack by the Archivites on Pingui. It was very well done, very good idea, and exactly what you can use basically Connected Islands for. But Pingui, that was well executed defense, really well executed defense, and he completely curb stomped basically the Archivites in there, like completely. Okay, largest army for Pingui, of course, yeah, with all the boats, but otherwise units killed and lost. Best for Kanala, but he was having the Mongols, of course, and plenty of boats as well, so it kinda is understandable. Okay, GG. GG. Or what's right now going on? It should be basically right now stopped, basically. As probably the host of the room, right? Somehow went out too soon or something. Doesn't really matter, because the game is gone.